I love how this trail just comes in. What was it like before this trail?
So it was just kind of an open grassy field. It was the mobility issues. You could kind of see people struggling a little bit. You could see, babies bouncing in strollers and, trying to push wheelchairs across. It just wasn't working the greatest. The Heritage Complex, all of the buildings were moved in here except for the Gunlickson house and the homestead and the barn. So they've been moved in kind of just from neighboring communities and different places. And they were kind of set up to help put a little bit more emphasis on what these different places meant to people during that settlement era, 1870 to 1920s.
There's history in every building that's here. There is history from long ago, and we want to keep that going. With all our projects and everything we do, that's what we do it for, is to show the history of this area and the people that came here and settled here. And when we bring the children out, when they go into the hall, on the wall they have all these people that used to have businesses, which are not here anymore, but their advertising is up on the hall in there. And so they ask them, how many do you recognize? When they go to the school, they actually have a school. They raise the flag, they say the Pledge of Allegiance, they put them through what a school kid would have done in those days, going to a one-room schoolhouse. When they go into the cabin, they're told that in the wintertime, you would have 15 people living in this little place. And one little boy said, well, where did they put the TV? Just things like that we really get a charge out of because they have no idea. The kids learn. They learn what it was like to live in those days, and we enjoy that part.
We kind of dove into some of the background into the master plan from back in the 1980s when they kind of put all this together, and there was a trail there. The association and the park staff, we kind of got together and said, hey, we need to really get this put in, and so we kind of shifted our fundraising efforts to focus on the trail and getting people circulating through here a little bit easier, a lot more comfortably. It's just kind of the byproduct of granite crushing, and so we actually had a local source, which was wonderful. It's a great product to have available to us up here. We don't have the big rocks and the different things. As imagine trying to push somebody in a wheelchair, and you're hitting, like on a gravel road, you've got a lot of the rounded surface rocks and things, and those are hard to get over for people with anything with wheels. And so by using this kind of, more crushed and more angular type of a rock, we're able to kind of compact it in and provide that better, surface. And, we really wanted to maintain the integrity of the site and kind of keep something, so it looks like it belongs in the late 1800s. Fun part with the granite, when it's nice and sunny here, the trail actually sparkles. It's great.
They help us, we help them.
And your vision aligned, and look, you have a beautiful pavilion with a nice connecting heritage trail.
It's just beautiful the way it fit in here and the trees around.
The Northeastern North Dakota Heritage Association provided the matching funds to finish this pavilion and build this project.
So excited about this pavilion, They used to put up a tent for us, and then if it was a windy day, I can remember one time, boy, the tent was coming down on one end, and it was a lot of work for the park.
It was actually one of our maintenance supervisors. He said, why don't we just put up a picnic shelter? And I said, why don't we just do that? That's a great idea. And then we looked again back into the master plan from the 80s, and there was a pavilion in that plan. And so we're like, it's right here. We never would have got here this quick without the RTP grant process. We were looking at, around a $50,000, $60,000 project here to get that done through the way, when we were doing fundraising, and it would have taken us probably another 5 to 10 years. So there was 2 steps left in the process to finish their master plan, and so with this pathway and the pavilion, we're completing that. It's kind of like the neighborhood for the Rendezvous Region. It's fun to see people from different towns. When it's sports season, it's rivalry time, but when it's camping season, they're all friends and they all get along. So, and they do, they celebrate right here together.